Okay, YouTube, I have a problem. And that problem is that I am so sick and tired of personal financial advice. Now bear with me. I think it's important that you are educated in your financial matters. However, it's become so repetitive and nonsensical that something has to be said. And this isn't the best edited video, but please just follow with me because I gotta give this rant out and I need people to just freaking listen for once. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this one by one and it's gonna be short, to the point, and simple. So let's just begin. Okay, so number one, advice: you need to try living below your means. Okay, it's very common advice, and it is exactly the advice you should try to follow, right? So let's say you bring some income in. You don't want to spend all your money. Okay, you have expenses that you have to get to. Now, do you want to know what the problem is with living below your means? Is that when people give that advice, they legitimately want you to live below your means forever just to save some money, right? So you're just eating rice, beans, chicken, etc. And you're supposed to do that year after year, maybe going on for decades. I mean, I remember I was watching a YouTuber. She was talking about how, she's only making like, $20,000, $30,000 as a teacher, and she's just gonna, be frugal all day. That does not work. Your expenses are going to rise. The problem with living below your means is that you don't control your expenses because sometimes your expenses just go out of control. You saw what happened during these years. Inflation went through the roof. And guess what? You're living below the means, you still gotta cut. Just cut, 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 cut. There's a book by MJ DeMarco, Millionaire Fastlane. You know what he said? Which I believe in. You live below your means so that you can do what? Expand your means. So you live, you make 40K, you live like you're making 10K, but during that time, you're working on yourself, you're working on getting a better job or business and hustle and make more money so you can make 100K, 250K, what have you. Okay, second problem, all right? Just move back in with your parents. Let me explain something to you, okay? Let's just fight. Let's just, play devil's advocate, okay? Does the person even have parents to come back to? Are the parents abusive? Are the parents broke? Is that person, the child, the main breadwinner? How many times have we heard about sports stars coming into, the NBA, the NFL, et cetera, talk about, oh, my mom, was struggling and I got into the sport because I wanted to come in and help her. A lot of people, there is no turning back. They're done. They're finished. They're broke. They don't have anyone to turn back down to. They're either going to keep moving forward or they're just done with the snap of a finger. Right? Now, for those who do have family, many of them, they don't even have to move back in because their parents got them covered. Their parents paid for their tuition. Their parents gave them a car. Their parents gave them a job. Let's look at, just to give a good example, look at Trump. His, kids, they're all in position. And I'm not saying that his kids don't have any problems. I'm sure they have their own internal problems, etc. But at the end of the day, they're all good. They don't even have to move back because, quite frankly, their parents just gave it to them. Okay? Just move back in with your parents. There's nothing to move back down to. So, third advice. Okay? And this is really starting to piss me off. Okay? Have you tried listening to Dave Ramsey and other Fin influencers? The Meek Kevins, the Graham Stevens, you know, some other people, right? First off, I want to say this. Graham Stevens, they do good content. Dave Ramsey, obviously his total money makeover, it works, etc. All right. Here's what I want to say. You are not going to necessarily budget your way out of you being in poverty. Okay. You're not going to budget your way simply from being poor. Now, is it important for you to budget? Yes, it is. But the fact still remains that you're broke at the end of the day. You get a piece of paper, okay? You get this piece of paper, you get a pen, and then you start writing, okay, how much money am I bringing in? Oh, I'm not bringing any money. Oh, what are my expenses? Oh, I have my bills. I have my phone bill, my rent, my utilities, my car note, etc., etc. Okay, you become more knowledgeable about what these people are telling you about how you got to invest in your 401k, how you got to invest in stocks, bonds, and diversify your portfolio. But you don't even have any money to bring in. So it's nonsense a lot of times. Okay? You know what the solution is to, listening to Dave Ramsey and other Fin influencers? Is unless you have someone to just give you a job, okay? They just give you a job and you make them money. That's it. I remember I had a hard time getting a job. You know what I had to do to get a job? I had to walk and go to numerous places, business establishments all around town to come in and get a job. Okay? Just walk in. That's what I had to do. All right. I didn't, become financially empowered just by listening to Dave Ramsey and other Fin influencers telling me how to budget, because really budgeting is easy. The solution is you acquiring resources as well as doing sales, which brings me to my next point. Okay. And this is probably the one that's really annoying the heck out of me and pisses me off than all the other reasons I gave before. And that is financial literacy. Okay. Now, let me explain to you why I don't like financial literacy. Number one, financial literacy is just personal finance repackaged, right? Everyone knows what personal finance is these days. So now they got market personal finance in a different way, which is you being literate about finance. Let me explain something to you. You look at the post-World War II golden expansion of, economics in the United States of America. Many of the people who were empowered and successful during that time, they were not college students. These were people who came from the rural farms, moved into the city, got a job, and within 1 year or two, they got married, had multiple kids, had a car, etc. They didn't care about no stocks, they didn't care about bonds, etc. They just worked at the same company for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, got their pension, Social Security, and just went about their life. Okay? These people were not illiterate about finance. All they had to do was get a job. And once they got their job, it'll just pay for everything. Their house, their car, and whatever you had left over, you had left over. Have you ever wondered why a lot of, older people never had, the smarts necessary to talk about, interest rates, inflations, etc.? It's because they didn't need to. They weren't literate. You know what you need? You need economic literacy. You need to understand how to acquire resources. That's what you need. You don't need to know about money all the time because money is just another resource. You need to be economically literate and, more importantly, learn how to acquire the resources and actually get them. Because this generation is the most college educated generation. You know what else? This is the generation that has less economic mobility than the previous generation. So that is all I wanted to say. I'm tired of personal finance advice, and those are my thoughts. Please leave your comments below, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.